not always pleasing.
This is another question from Neil. What writers and philosophers have inspired you and opened up spiritual doors for you?
If I have to single out 3 writers, I would say more on a style than a spiritual door, because I think that, as I said before, people lead me to the places where I need to be. So I do believe in these relationships with human beings. But I would single out, as for style, I would say Henry Miller, who is totally underrated in America, by the way. Jorge Luis Borges, who is an Argentinian, who had a gigantic influence on me. And probably William Blake, who he had this kind of visionary approach to life.
This is from a high school student, Chris Kamey, at East London High School. Of all the books you've written, what is your favorite?
Oh, it's like babies, you know, you don't have any favorite. You put the best of yourself. Every book, every word has all my love there. So how could I single out one book? There's a book that I don't like, I must say. The Vocalist. I think I could explore the subject much better. That said, all my other books, I feel very proud of them, and I'm in this constant process of talking. For example, in Norway this year, we are releasing The Pilgrimage. So this was a book that was written 20 years ago, so I have to think about The Pilgrimage again. Then you go to Japan, and they're releasing 11 minutes. Then you go. So I'm in the constant process of thinking about my work in general, and so far I would say that I'm proud of them.
This question is from Eric Thomas. What role does Catholicism play in your writing?
Okay, Eric, I am a Catholic, but I am not saying that I'm a Catholic writer. It is totally different. I'm a Catholic because I believe that sometimes you have to share the same adoration. But I don't see myself as a Catholic writer, and for sure I'm not. And I try to separate the things, because otherwise you go to preaching, which is not my case.
What is this is a question from Phil Pye. What is an aspect of yourself that you consider to be a weakness, or something you wish to improve on, or that you already have improved on?
Let me think, many. But for example, I should be more used to talk in front of an audience, and I simply hate this. I'm totally scared when I have to give conferences. And I believe that conferences are important in the sense that you have this eye contact with the reader, with the person who is there. So, of course, this would be, if I have to single out something, I have to improve in this area, because, as I said a few minutes ago, human contact is all it's all about.
One question that I have is, it's a constant theme in your books. How does romantic love support and hinder the path to following your dreams?
We always have this idea that love is something that's going to keep us away from fulfilling our dreams. Let me give you a concrete example. I love my parents, but I was convinced when I was a teenager that I had to follow my path. So they were hurt, and they loved me. I went through this kind of dramatic experience going to a mental institution, and I explored the subject in Jamaica. I decided to die. And then what you realize at the end of the day is that if you are totally convinced, love and romantic love will help you, even if at the very beginning you will create a kind of amazement, you're going to create a kind of, people are not going to understand but then they see you happy, and this is what counts.
Wait, I'm going to butcher this name, but Runika Harham wants to know which book was most difficult to write.
All of them, Monica. All books are very, very, very difficult to write. I would say probably the first one, when you're still the pilgrimage, because then you go through a rite of passage. But every time that I have to write a new book, and I have, because someone asked me about my personal legend, and that it used to be a writer. So I would say that every time that I go through this labor, and it's quite difficult. Then when I finish, I feel relaxed, but to take things from your heart and to put it in a paper is not very easy.
This question is from Paula Brackenot. Do you ever feel lonely during the creative process?
Very often, Paula. I think that somehow writing is a lonely process. So I sit, I have no person to talk about, and there I am, taking all the decisions that I have to take. So it's not very easy, because you have to exercise the most important thing that you have, that it is the power of your decisions. I would say this is a blessing in all our lives, when we exercise choosing. And when you choose, you feel lonely. And then, of course, after choosing, you realize that it was not that bad. But, yes.
How do you manage the loneliness?
Could you repeat?
How do you handle the loneliness? Is there anything that you do to move through it, or ritual?
No, discipline. The only thing that you need at this moment is discipline and inspiration. Writing is a very feminine way of understanding yourself. You deal with inspiration, that they put air inside of you, and that's what anything that you do in life is about that. So I feel very lonely, and I feel sometimes scared by some decisions that I have to take. But since I wrote The Alchemist, I decided not to show my book to anybody before they are published, because when my wife read The Alchemist, she hated it. And I said, okay, now you are going to read my book when they are published. And then back to this, you are totally alone when you write, and then at the end of the day, it is your decisions that count.
This question is from Ahmad from Egypt. I would like to ask, how much are you affected by the Arabic heritage?
The Arab? Mm-hmm. I did not understand that.
Yes, how much are you affected by Arabic heritage?
Very much so. By the way, The Alchemist and many of my books, this oral tradition